Let's please welcome our next guest, Mr. Blaine Kern, Jr.
Okay, I've got 10 minutes and we have a lot to go over. I'll make this real simple. The difficult thing is I don't have a podium and I don't have a teleprompter, so we're going to kind of wing this, okay? All right, so, we need to go back a little ways. 1000 BC, the Egyptians celebrated their Egyptian gods. In 500 BC, the Greeks honored Dionysus, and in 1 AD, the Romans honored Saturn. Okay, obviously after the Dark Ages, which is when the Huns attacked and it was the fall of the Roman Empire, nothing happened anywhere in regards to Catholicism. 1300 to 1700 AD, the Crusades were taking place. The Roman Empire, so to speak, was trying to turn the pagan society into a more Christian society. So what happened was that the best times to go to Mecca was at night. So actually Mardi Gras is decided 40 days before Easter, which is when the spring equinox takes place, which is when the sun is at its weakest point. What you'll find is that carnival actually means flesh, and vol is party. So what carnival was the, let's just say the Roman Empire's gift to the pagans on trying to convince them to stop doing all the bad stuff, enjoying themselves, and obviously turn into the Lenten celebration, which is Ash Wednesday. So that is how Mardi Gras actually came into being. 1650s, move fast forward, Baal mosques became the rage in Venice. 1699, obviously, Abbeville was the first one to come to New Orleans to celebrate Mardi Gras. So you all know this is 19 years before New Orleans was discovered at Mardi Gras Point, 60 miles from the mouth of the river. 1718, obviously the reason we're here is the tricentennial. Bienville discovered the first settlement, which was New Orleans. Moving on, the late 1700s, pre-Lenten celebrations became the vogue. Spanish came in, stopped all the celebrations. French came in, got even worse. 1803 Louisiana Purchase, hence party started again. 1837 marked the first celebration that was actually noted where revelers went through the French Quarter. They stopped it. It was too much raucous. 1857, 6 members from the Cowbellions, Mardi Gras actually started in Mobile, came to New Orleans and started the first float. That's a picture of it there, which is the crew of Comus. 1872, Duke Romanov, who was the heir apparent to the Tsar of Russia, came to New Orleans. A bunch of businessmen got together, and they created the crew of Rex. That's where If Ever I Cease to Love came in. The flags purple, green, and gold basically became the mainstay, and Rex became the monarch of Mardi Gras. Over the next 150 years, the Municipal Auditorium, if you all remember it, is where all the tableau presentations took place. This is where crews, clubs, organizations of all different types of groups of people staged these elaborate festive events. Of course, at that same time period, beautiful invitations were sent out, soirees. This is where parents introduced their daughters and sons to the society, debutantes, and cotillions. And of course, everything moved forward until where my grandfather started in 1932. His first parade was it was one float. Back during the Depression, you couldn't make money building floats, so he was a sign painter. Back in the 30s, the floats were actually built on garbage scows. In fact, if you see some of the older Comus floats and Rex floats, they're all the old wagon wheels, and they were pulled by mules. In fact, some of the later tractors had horse type of facades that were over the fronts of the tractors. And the flambeaux were the lights because obviously there was no electricity back then. 1947, Louis Armstrong was the king of Zulu. Interesting point is my grandfather used to hire Louis Armstrong to play for him for $20 in Algiers when he owned a bar before the Depression took those away. Same time period, my dad started Blaine Kern Artist. And what happened after that was that in 1955, the captain of Rex sent him to Europe to learn how to bring some of the noted ways that they were doing things in Italy, Spain, and France. So he started bringing in the large props, the animatronic figures, and the moving props, as well as proliferated beads and doubloons. Now, prior to that, his first parade was, coincidentally, Ala. Now, if you're looking at me, that's me in the police car on the bottom right-hand side. That's not the reason Mardi Gras was canceled. There was a strike in the unions in 1978. I started working with my dad in 76, and we actually did parade, but it was in Metairie at the time in Kenner. 1967, Ed Muniz started a small crew in Gentilly and grew it to be one of the largest crews in the world, which is obviously Endymion, and that's probably one of the larger super crews here in New Orleans. 1968, Owen Brennan and my dad started Bacchus, and they were the first ones to actually have a monarch as their king. 1984, World's Fair came. We had a gondola on the West Bank. My dad brought in an aircraft carrier, which unfortunately didn't make it as a casino, but what it did to New Orleans was it regentrified the riverfront with the Phase 1, the convention center, as the, let's just say, as the birthplace of really where the convention industry flourished in New Orleans after the Rivergate was obviously torn down for Harrah's. What you don't see is where Fulton Street Mall is, and if you look down the street, there's a King Kong figure. That was actually the site of the first Mardi Gras Whirl. Mardi Gras Whirl was really nothing more than a place that sold beads and doubloons. From 76 to 85, 86, I built floats. I wanted to throw events. My dad thought it was a waste of time, but I enjoyed throwing parties. My dad wasn't ready to retire, so I decided to go out on my own. Unfortunately, what I found was that Mardi Gras was only a week and a half out the year. Thank you. I wish I would have known you 30 years ago. So I pretty much did everything. Now, what 10 or 11 years working my dad did was, while I wasn't paid as much as I could have hoped, I was able to pretty much learn that there wasn't anything that I couldn't do if somebody asked me to do it. So I did anything. If somebody needed linen, centerpieces, props, drapery. I was fortunate enough to be able to be very creative in thought processes. Stauberger and Dave Burris came to me and asked me to do something unique for New Year's Eve, and I built the ball and did the baby and the tap the New Year's Eve. Also, back-to-back, Ed Muniz gave me the contract for Endymion. I landed the contract to build the stage for the Papal Convention as well as the main stage for the Republican Convention. For another 13 years, we did all the Mardi Gras balls. It's unfortunate that after this, Katrina took place, which took it away, but it was really beautiful to see the love that all these crew captains had for their courts. I'm paid maybe not as much as I want, but these are gentlemen that spent their lives trying to proliferate their crews. The challenge is that people want to be entertained. They don't want to sit back and watch the tableau. They want to be part of the celebrations. Katrina comes, horrific to New Orleans. Municipal Auditorium was destroyed. It pushed all the crews out. 12th Night went to the Ritz. Hilton went to, Hermes went to the Hilton. The Sheraton took over the Rex event. Obviously, before Christmas, being that I had to diversify, we started doing a lot of Christmas stuff. So Christmas at the Roosevelt we used to do when Katrina came, that turned into Miracle on Fulton. Right now we do casinos, we're doing the fairgrounds now, we're decorating the Sinesta, and we'll do the Christmas in the District. Moving on, a lot of stuff you see. In fact, I don't have much of a bio because I don't have a bio. I'm used to kind of staying in the background and working for a lot of people, letting them take the credit. But when you go to the French market and you see that giant pumpkin and you see the tomato, that's us. If you go to the Zoodoo, that's us. You know, I mean, we even built the pyramid for the Tut exhibit. Tents, call me if you need tents. Isn't that great? I'm using this as a platform to sell Mardi Gras productions. Okay, sporting events. Obviously, New Orleans, people want to come to New Orleans. And while Mardi Gras is well and good, and that's what I'm supposed to be talking about, people love Mardi Gras because they're putting on masks and being people they wouldn't ordinarily be at home. But obviously, being that the Superdome is so close to the city center, we've been able to pick up a lot of, obviously, events. Like the convention center has picked up shows as well. But this is obviously sports. Usually when there's victory parties, we do them. Weddings, moving on, custom branding. Essence Festival, larger events, has grown the economy to where it's billions of dollars in economic impact for the city, and accounts for probably as high as the New Orleans occupancy can be as it possibly can be. Convention Center, obviously, phase 1, 2, and 3 has done incredible amounts of good for the city. Right now, there's some developments further up the river that we'll wait and see what happens, but I know that we have great things in store for us. Louisiana Superdome, what more can I say? It's going to celebrate its 50th anniversary 3 more years from now. I was very fortunate to do the 25th anniversary, and they've been a great partner and friend. Championship score, great advent to the city in regards to an event space. D-Day Museum, we did the opening. The Pacific Campaign, I got to meet the guy that dropped the Hiroshima bomb, and I asked him if he'd do it again, and he said, blankety, yes, I would. So that kind of tells you where he is. But that's such a wonderful venue for the younger people that don't get a chance to see World War II vets and obviously know what atrocities took place. Marriott Hotel, Sheraton, Harrah's. I can't thank Harrah's enough. We did the Municipal Auditorium, the grand opening of the hotel. But as a company that came back after Katrina and really became a Pied Piper for new businesses, they've been amazing to a lot of businesses, mine at the forefront. High Regency, Museum of Art. I was talking to Jean Nathan in the back, and I was apologizing because I think that New Orleanians don't spend as much on the arts as other cities because we have Mardi Gras. But she told me I was wrong. She said that obviously people spend more than they do in other places, which I'm thrilled with. The Ritz-Carlton, New Orleans Hilton, the Republic, Mardi Gras World. Obviously, this is my family's mainstay, my brother and my dad. Future of Mardi Gras. Bacchus is celebrating their 50th anniversary. People ask me about the future of Mardi Gras. The reality is that unfortunately, with the advent of 6-foot TV screens and hundreds of cable channels, young people want to be part of the celebration. And if they don't stick with the times, with the captain of Bacchus now being Clark Brennan, he's got new blood. They're investing a lot of money with me to make it a grand showcase, and that's what we plan on doing this year. Endymion, I can't say anything more. Ed Munez is my best friend. He knows the people's pulse. He's sold out 20,000 people. He has Rod Stewart as headliner, and I'm honored to be a part of that celebration. Where else in the world do people gauge success on the amount of trash? Really? 906 tons of trash, $464 million of economic impact, over 1 million visitors, and a 95 to 98% occupancy rate. I mean, what a wonderful thing that we have, and we're so fortunate to raise it to the level that it is. And by the way, too, even though I'm a small company, the trickle down I don't think is really shown as much as it could be, but obviously, you know, the unique thing is that we have to be thankful of those captains that spend the amount of time that they do. They don't get paid for it. I do, maybe not as much as I want, but look at the time they spend. So we should be very thankful for the crew members, too, that are also part of those organizations. I have to go back one. I went too fast. Okay, so for us, we've taken the old Mardi Gras world and turned it into a movie studio and an event center. Right now, we have 83,000 square feet, and Warner Horizon's moving in. The film industry obviously did very well, and people were upset with Jindal for putting a kibosh on it, and it really hurt the film industry. But my true feelings is that if he wouldn't have done it, and with the new governor coming in, if it would have been wide open, Edwards would have canceled it completely. So we have to be thankful for what we have, and although a lot of business did move to Atlanta and Canada, I think it's slowly coming back. My wife's business is Paper Doll Promotions. Even though she's not here because I told her not to come, I got to at least show off her business. She does theme talent, so that's her plug. And this is who I'm doing it for. These are my kids. My son's an actor in L.A., so please tweet him. And my daughter's graduating from Chapman. Okay, so I pretty much caught up with my time. So, they're shining a light. Guess what that means? So now I'm going to say my goodbyes. First of all, thank you for that. So first of all, thank you to GNOCC for allowing me to talk. I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be a part of the festivities. And I'd like, if you don't mind, ending this with a prayer, because when it comes to the future, nobody knows it. For me, it's taking care of my family. For each of you, I'd like to pray all of you this, that first of all, as parents, that you help make your children, teach them to make the right decisions, what's right and wrong, and then help guide them. As business owners, to help understand and be very compassionate with your employees and team and staff members. For teachers, that you help those children that don't have the opportunities of having both parents at home to help guide them. For individuals, to help you all slow down enough to know that every day is a blessing. You need to give thanks for what God's given you. And most of all, to just relax and listen and be thankful for all that you have. God bless you all. Thank you.